Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Salami, and today we're having a first look and impressions of Enshrouded on Steam Deck. This will be on an OLED model, and I have got Cryo Utilities installed, so take that as preference before we get into this video. Also, a bit of housekeeping. I'm recorded this on the Steam OS beta, which has the new inbuilt recording ability on Steam Deck. So I gave it a go. It wasn't the easiest way to record, I'm going to be honest. It's not quite how I would like my setup to be, but if the footage looks different and you notice it, please let me know in the comments below if you prefer this or if you prefer how I've had it before in the past. The biggest downside I've realized is it doesn't record the frame rate in the corner, which I completely blew my mind. I was like, whoops, and I just completely forgot. But anyway, let's get into it. So if you don't know what Enshrouded is, it's an early access title, and it's a survival game. We've covered a few survival games in the prep over the past few weeks, like Enshrouded, like Nightingale, and so on and so forth. I prefer this over Nightingale. Nightingale's fine, but this is, I think, a slightly better game. I've put more time into this. I've put about 3 hours in, which is, you know, not a lot of time, but enough to give me a baseline of how I feel about it and performance-wise on the Steam Deck OLED. To say things, I'll have a rundown of what my settings are in the video behind you, and you can copy them if you like. This is what I've ended up on. I did have to, the game is quite heavy at the moment in early access. The frame rate is definitely volatile. You're definitely best to set a set frame rate of 30. You're not going to get to 60 in this game in its current state. It's just it's way too heavy. I've got a big mixture of performance and medium. There's also I've also had to change the resolution scaling down to 90%. Just full native res was you're just losing too many frames all the time. Lighting can look a little bit funny because of the settings we're using. We have to use FSR2 here as well. There's just technically speaking, it's playable. If you want my answer, it is playable. The short of it is it works, but you are going to have some drops in heavy forested areas and in some fights. So just keep that in mind. On the LCD, I'm not too sure, but if you've got this on the LCD, please let me know in the comments below how it runs for you there. So performance wise, my answer is if you're looking for a survival game and this, from the footage looks interesting to you, go for it. Like, definitely enjoying myself here. Like I say, I'm about 3 hours in. This is where the first boss fight is, which I did, and of course I forgot to record the fight, didn't I? I pushed the record button after the fight. I'm like, oh, I didn't stop it, I just started. So whoopsie on my part. So yeah, I got the first boss down here, which was awesome, and got myself a really cool mace and some other loots. Crafting in this game there's quite a lot of crafting. Like you have like your crafting that you can do on your character, then you also have like crafting tables, and then there's also, you get I've captured or rescued a smith and taken him back to my base, which then lets me have more crafting options for like a kiln and stuff like that. So yeah, crafting is pretty big in this game, and they start you off with a pretty limited inventory system, and I haven't yet upgraded it, so that's definitely on my to-do list, as you're always working with extra space. Side note and a tip, if you're playing this or you're thinking of playing it, to quickly move stuff around from your bag onto your weapon, to your slots on the bottom line there, as you can see, or if you're in your chest, to move things to and from your chest, use the right stick to flick things up, down, or left and right into your different inventory slots. It's way quicker than I was pushing X to like grab it, and then I would like tap down into where I wanted to put it. where if you just flick, if you have the item highlighted and then use the right stick, you can like flick inventory around a lot quicker. So just something there that to keep note of. And that it took me way too long to realize that you could do that, probably because I was skipping all the things. Story wise, there's a story there about you're the last Fireborn or something along those lines. This again, it's the story is there, lots of it too, in terms of books you can read and codex entries and stuff like that. I didn't really get too much into the lore on this playthrough. Maybe if I start a new character, I would spend a little bit more time and look at that stuff. But on this initial, like, just quick look, it wasn't really catching my eye too much. Like, I talked to the Smith guy and listened to him and stuff like that, but I didn't spend like a ton of time delving deep into the lore of Enshrouded. You then have, and in the name suggests Enshrouded is, so there's enshrouded spots on the world map where you have a time limit before you die. So, you know, it's all foggy and misty, and you can only see a few feet in front of you, and there's different kinds of materials in there, like enshrouded logs, or items to collect and different monsters to fight. So there's like, the enshrouded areas are quite cool with, getting different crafting materials, but you're on a time limit. But within those enshrouded zones, there's also like little like hourglasses which will top you back up and give you more time, and there's also upgrades you can do back at your base which give you more time. So I think you start at 5 minutes. I think I have an 8-minute timer when I'm in the enshrouded zones. So yeah, and as you can see here, the combat's pretty cool. I always push the wrong button though. I always think it's Dark Souls when I'm playing this. And so I push it's X to attack with your weapon, but I always go to push left bumper, because I'm thinking it's Dark Souls, because right bumper to attack and left bumper, but left bumper is your block with your shield. So I keep like pushing the wrong button, but that's a reflex from playing Elden Ring, I think, which is the problem here. I got these bees attacking me here. You can just hit bees with a sword, why not? And they've been taken care of. So I'm sorry I don't have any footage here with a frame rate graph, but if this is looking playable to you, then by all means pick it up and copy in some of my settings in terms of graphics, or play to your heart's content. You might be able to get a few more things turned up, but it can be very, very this game can be very touchy on its frame rate. So maybe once it's a maybe full release, or if they add in some different techniques for upscaling, maybe we'll end up in a better place. But currently, yeah, it's a little wonky, but definitely playable. So I just want to say thanks, you guys, for jumping in and watching this video, and give us a like or a sub if you found this interesting. Otherwise, I will see you in the next one. Alright guys, have a great day. See ya.